Hello, just a very quick one, just a very quick video today. And just because I was just talking about it with someone, so I just thought I'd just get it out there while it's fresh in my mind, because someone asked me, why do we have an ego and how does that fit into our development as a human experiencer, etc. So first of all, I should just define in my language what I mean by an ego. So the ego in my language is the identification of the experiencer with a body and a mind, and subsequently that leads to the belief of separation and the belief that you are this limited separate self that's separate from everything else. So why do we have this? So let's just start at the beginning. When we're babies, we come out of our mothers. We don't have any concepts at all. We can't distinguish between different objects. Everything is just a big smudge, a big blurge. And we need to, at that stage, start to think about, as part of our whole experience, that as a part of that, there is a body and a mind. And, for survival purposes, you need to feed it and things like that, just for survival. So you need to sort of identify separate seeming objects in reality, so that you can identify food and things like that. So that's where the idea of sort of separation comes from, and you need to acknowledge that as part of your experience there is a body and a mind, and you do need to feed it. So that's why the ego is initially developed. And how does that fit into the 3 stages of human development as well? So at that stage you're sort of in the emotional realm, you can't really communicate, and etc. So then we're going to move on to the 2nd stage of the human development, where we start to develop the mind, the higher faculties of rational thinking, critical thinking, logical thinking. And then we get out of the emotional ways of communicating and we get into this higher reasoning, and then we start to communicate like this. And then as part 2 of that, of the human stage of development, we then start to use these higher faculties of the mind to start to self-inquire as to who we truly are. I think it's in the sort of the Hindu traditions, they call it the neti process. In Advaita, they would call it self-inquiry, and other traditions probably have similar things. So that's when you're starting to use those higher faculties to then discover, I'm not only my mind, I'm not my body, etc. And then you get onto the 3rd stage, which is self-actualization. And then that's when you use those to actually discover who you truly are, and you kind of return home, if you like, to when you were a baby, but you have all these other faculties in place at this time, and you realize that you're not the mind, not the body, you're not this separate self entity, and you're part of the whole. And in that stage, the way you sort of communicate then is you move into the heart center and you start to use heart intelligence to navigate your experience. So it goes stage 1, you're navigating through emotions. Stage 2, it's in the mind with rational thinking, reasonable thinking. And then the 3rd stage, you move into the heart intelligence. It's kind of like a return home journey, if you like. But the 1st stage is absolutely necessary, and you do need to develop the ego at that stage for survival purposes. So I hope that helped you. Hope it was informative. God bless.